This week, on an all-new episode of Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants, join host Ryan Wolf, Pokemaster Troy Osborn, and Colin Freakin Giffy for rants such as... Like, first time I shot myself in the head, it was the scariest thing ever. Freaking territory wars, that's what it was. Oh, fucking hey. Do this for sitting on his butt and not going outside. Okay.
And there's the Nuke or Napalm.
We're going off the rails on a crazy train of thought.
Check a look.
Welcome, everybody, to Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Ryan Wolf. On today's episode, I have...
Pokemaster Troy Osborn.
Pokemaster Troy Osborn is here. Thank you for joining us, Troy.
Freaking Giffy.
Just Giffy.
Colin Giffy's here.
Yep, I'm here.
We
Back
are
at it again.
live from Savant Studios.
Savant Studio.
Yep. Live officially. We've got
Not live.
video. Yeah,
should be,
fucking
though.
live. We got audio.
We got the Elgato.
Other things going.
We got the dual streaming PC
It
set
took
up.
me like 3 hours, probably, if not longer, to set this
Hey,
stuff
I know
up.
you guys are
pretty
probably
crispy.
listening around a group of people, or maybe in your cars, or maybe just alone in your bed. Just go ahead and clap a little bit.
Yeah,
Don't do it
clap.
if your parents are home in the next room. Just go ahead and
Just a few little claps.
yeah, like that. You don't want to do it for too long. Just don't. Take my advice.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
What you been up to?
Not a whole lot, man.
Okay.
Just
Everything but video games.
working. Yeah, basically.
What the fuck? You
I
realize
know.
you two are
We're
on a
on
video
a
game
video
podcast,
game.
right? Like, that's the thing that we do each week.
I
is,
don't
like,
have
sit
my
down
Switch no more.
and talk about video games.
I have a PC.
Generally-
Xbox. When I have time to play video games, though, I play Call of Duty. So I've played Call of Duty. I'm not just talking about Call of Duty every week.
Again,
Yeah,
every
exactly.
week. This is the Call of Duty
I'm sorry
cast.
that every day my brother calls me, dude, get on Call of Duty. And I'm like, oh, fine, I was going to play some of this, but whatever.
Next week we
I
will
was going to
talk
play
about
some
Minecraft
Titan Quest
Dungeons.
Anniversary,
Yeah.
which also has co-op now. Titan Quest Anniversary.
All right, you want to talk about Titan Quest?
I haven't played it
'Cause you
yet,
told me
but
to save it till
Titan
next
Quest
week, and
is
here we
something.
are.
Titan Quest is something. It's a game in 2006 made by THQ or published by THQ.
Okay, right.
And it's one of those top-down hack and slash games, role-playing games. Takes place in Greek mythology.
Okay.
So, but
it's
yeah,
God of
it's like a
War.
lot of loot and stuff like that. And the only thing I really remember for it is killing a bunch of big monsters and then having somebody say, "Your inventory is full. You cannot hold anything. You cannot hold any more. Your inventory is full."
God
That's
damn
like
it.
that's all I remember from that game.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
I'm
but
overburdened.
my brothers have been playing it, and I was playing on because my brother like we were on the computer the other day, and he's like, "You're both on Steam." He's like, "Dude, you have Titan Quest?" I was like, "No." He's like, "It's on sale right now." I was like, "Nah, dude, I don't really feel like spending the money right now." All of a sudden, ding, a gift has arrived in your Steam library, just like he did with freaking PUBG. I was like,
Well
"What in
done.
the world?" I wish
Yep.
I had money to just be like, "Boop," here's a free game. Have fun. Do with it what you
Well, you
will.
blew all your money, Colin.
Yeah,
you
I
could
did.
have money
I did.
for games, but you blew it all on a new PC.
Did.
As stated last week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
talk about that. Okay.
yeah, we did a little bit talk about
We
it.
don't need to talk about it.
But you've been playing Hyperdot.
Yeah,
too,
Hyperdot. I did play Hyperdot.
Hyperdot 2? Is that out already?
as well.
Yes,
Hyperdot
he
as well.
already made a
Yeah,
new
the sequel. We didn't get him on for that interview. So for those of you that
Out on
don't
Game
know,
Pass
we talked to Charles McGregor about Hyperdot. He's a developer at Tribe Games, and he told us a little bit about the game and the process of making it. Check out that episode. We interviewed him for the pod, and then Colin and I played a bunch of it, and we put it up on the YouTube channel, and it recently came to Game Pass.
Yep.
So,
It's on PC and it's cross-compatiable too, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's cross-save.
Cross-save, yeah.
So that I noticed that though, because I was playing on a PC a couple weeks ago, and I was playing it super into it. I was just playing a few to see how it would play. And then I think I do like playing it on control a little bit better.
Really?
Yeah. But
Man, we
back
thought
to
for
my-
sure that the
Yeah, the mouse
PC
would be better.
yeah.
But like back to the other point, yeah. So I was playing it on my PC, and then I was like, okay, I got to like level 10 or 11 or whatever. And then I booted up on my Xbox One the other day. And then it was like, oh, starting level 12. And I was like, oh, I just downloaded Hyperdot for the first time on Xbox. So apparently it does have cross save.
Okay.
So that's really cool.
We should ask Charles how that works. Like, does Microsoft just take care of all that
probably,
on their end?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Ask him.
it makes sense because you sign in with a Microsoft account in order to play it.
Right.
So,
That's a good point.
but I don't know about Steam because I don't have it on Steam.
Right.
So I should probably be careful about when I say cross save because I don't know if it's Microsoft through Steam, but in the Microsoft store through my regular account.
I would imagine it's
cross save
through Xbox.
I don't know about Steam.
Like Xbox Game Pass PC.
Yeah.
Unless you bought it on PC on Steam, then that's how you've accessed the game.
Yeah, and it also has me curious if Master Chief Collection cross save, or not necessarily cross save, but like when it comes to your multiplayer account, like say you're level 40 on Xbox,
Right.
and then would you be level 40 still on?
I think so.
On PC.
I feel like
I don't think it's
if
cross compatible.
If you're playing it through the Windows Store, but if you play it on Steam, it's
Windows
different.
Store. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's two versions of the game, from what I.
Yeah, but I'm saying, is it cross compatible through Microsoft Store and Xbox?
Yes.
So it is cross compatible
With that way, I
Okay,
think.
that way.
But if you were to buy it on Steam, which why would you? Because you have Game Pass.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, back to Hyperdot, but I didn't play a whole lot of it. I got pretty far, and I felt like I was doing worse than when we played it the first time. I don't know why.
Dude, you were
like
wrecking me.
I was just like, dude,
in
I
the
gotta do
recording.
this.
It's
Well, I noticed that like whenever I focus too hard, I suck.
yeah.
But when I actually like
kinda
you
chill.
gotta relax your mind, like relax your mind. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Like relax your eyes a little bit and just kind of like see like just like see everything around it, like your peripheral. You use your peripheral more, and then you can avoid everything way easier. That's what I've noticed. And there's also a way another thing I picked up on when you pause the level. It'll show you how the level goes before you even start. So if it's a certain pattern, you could remember the pattern. And I wasn't even doing that on purpose. I just had it pause and looked at the screen. I was like, wait, that's how it moves? So I just have to zigzag back and forth. And then I did that. I was like,
So
oh,
you can
cool.
see like pockets where you can hide out.
Yeah, pockets you can hide out.
We
or like,
totally missed that.
We did. Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Except for when they follow you, though. Because if they follow the dot, then it's different every time.
That's a good point.
It's a fun game, though. For those listeners who don't know what Hyperdot is, like I said, we go watch the interview with Charles McGregor.
Yeah.
And it's just to get a little bit of explanation for it. It's a game you play as a little dot, and there's a bunch of obstacles that come after you're in a 2D. Well, it's like a 2D, 3D game. It's like
you're in a 2D plane.
It's a 2D plane. Yeah, it's a 2D plane. But like they also like put in 3D objects, though. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
like
a lot
things
of
pop up as 3D sometimes.
I think it's
just
more
a
like
dot.
I think it's more of like the shaders that make it.
Yeah,
it's the
that's
shaders.
probably
It's more of a pop than
it's more of a pop.
actual 3D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a 2D top-down game, and you play as a dot, and you have to avoid shit coming after you, basically.
Yeah.
And it's really
Obstacle avoidance.
And like it's like there's different types of
Enemies,
different types of levels. Like some of them have time limits. Some of them you have to. Well, I don't know about time limit. I think it just keeps counting up.
Right.
Yeah, it just keeps counting up and how fast you can beat the level.
So your time limit is.
Oh, there's also a time that counts down too.
Yeah,
that
you
have
gotta
to survive for a certain amount of time. So there's kind of both.
There's about 4 different game modes. There's the one where you have to collect all the little dots. Then there's the one where you gotta stay alive for so long.
Yeah, and there's one to stay in the circle.
Yeah, the circle.
I mean, each map brings its own specific thing, and there's over 100 courses.
Yeah, there's no good way to explain it unless you guys play it or watch the video. So we do have a gameplay video on our YouTube, and we also have the interview which throws in some of the gameplay as well.
Yeah.
So that's a
you
good
could
way
throw
to
some of the video in.
Yeah, I'll probably throw some of the video in here for the video people. For those of you that don't know, we've been doing video podcasts.
We're doing them every week.
YouTube.
Now. It's
There's
not
a
just an
link right
occasional
here.
thing.
Oh, okay. I will put a link there, Troy.
Bam! Bam! Two
Don't
links.
have it
Bam.
ready. I can't just push the button. Bam.
Yeah, we're just making like things harder for Ryan to edit. Ryan, ball fire around my fist right now. Boom! No,
God damn it.
now he's gonna have to do it. He's like,
Assholes. I don't know how to do a ball of fire.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're just gonna put a JPEG
How
image.
to ball of
It's a
fire.
JPEG image right here. In my hand. My hand.
Yeah, there you go.
So stupid.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you've been enjoying Hyperdot. How much time do you think you put into it?
About an hour, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a
I
good
think I got
time.
about 30 levels into it or something like that. So I haven't gotten
Nice.
quite all the way, like not even halfway through.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good levels, and it's gotten a lot harder as you go. So it's definitely really enjoyable though, but also frustrating. It's like, I just want to beat
It
this
is.
level.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but it's definitely that like one more.
Yeah, it's just occasionally
Yeah.
just like shit. Oh, do it again.
We were playing a couple weeks back, playing Hyperdot with the family, and I'd hand Emmett the controller for a little bit, and he'd play. He'd get mad, Dad, it's your turn now. I died too many times.
Right.
And then I handed it to Brenda, and she wasn't expecting it to be an ice level. She's like, "Your controller is really bad. There's something wrong."
This thing's fucked.
And then she let me buy a new controller.
You did that on purpose, Troy. That was on purpose.
I told her it was an ice level, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't just the controller.
This controller is messed up.
Like on our Switch, the controllers are really bad, which
Yeah.
I'm getting those fixed. But
Dude, I've kind of come to the realization that maybe I don't like playing games on my Switch.
yeah,
Like,
I
don't like
can't
the
play
controller.
anything right
Yeah.
now because of the way my sticks drift.
well, that digital joystick is so fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I played a little bit more of the Journey to the Unexpected, the Away Journey to the Unexpected that I've been checking in with here and there. And I made it through a few more levels, and I've got a couple more companions. And just like, it is so fucking inaccurate. If they did not let you move while you're in the air in that game, I would be so fucked. Like, because, I mean, the game's not a super well controlling game anyways. And then pair that with the fact that the joysticks are digital
Yeah.
on that fucking controller, they're on or off. You were right. The joysticks too are also digital. So there's not like, just move it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you're either fucking running or you're not moving at all.
Yeah.
And it's annoying as hell.
I think
And
some games do it. Like, do you use some sort of a movement, like to go slow and then faster? Because I know Mario does that
yeah.
in Odyssey. So they have the capability of doing it, but it's not great neither.
Boy, I wonder how they work that in Mario, because in Journey to the Unknown or Unexpected for sure, it's on or off. Like
Yeah.
you are either moving or you're not moving.
Yeah.
And those are your options.
And you still move with the left joystick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's first person controls.
Yeah.
So move with
camera,
left joystick. Yep. Move the camera with the right. Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah.
I don't usually like games that make you start over when you die, but so far, still sticking with it here and there. You have no idea how hard it is to edit your yawns out. I just want you to know that.
I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
I can't help it. I just yawn a lot.
I can do it with my mouth closed.
What are you, Snorlax? Slowpoke?
Right now I'm yawning.
That's
just yawned.
impressive.
I just
Fuck.
yawned.
Fucking A.
I'd yawn the whole time.
Yawn
though.
like Colin.
If I hold it, like that's holding in a yawn, and then I have to yawn again.
Okay, Colin, teach Troy as soon
My
as we're
ways.
off air how
Okay.
to yawn with your
I
mouth
actually gotta
closed.
yawn like really legit bad.
Dude, come on, man. Now we're all gonna yawn. God damn it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
Oh, why did you have to say anything?
Fucking A.
I quit.
What have you been playing, Troy?
Right now I'm playing Pokemon Go.
Okay.
Other than that, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's been.
Did you play with Grief Burrito and those guys?
I have not got to play with them
Dude.
yet. It's so hard to get on their schedule. Like
Right.
I don't expect them to stay up super late at night to play with me. But if I have a day off where I can play at 1 our time,
Right.
then I can play with them when they're on.
Yeah.
It's just I gotta have time for that to sync up, and every time around 1 o'clock, I'm either working or we're off doing something as a
Right.
family.
Right.
So
So for those of you listeners that don't know, Grief Burrito is a fellow podcasters from the UK. Very good gaming comedy podcast, very similar to what we do.
I like their spooky burritos also.
Yes, they
Those
do.
are really good.
Basically like horror episodes, like a conspiracy kind of episode
Those are super
that
fun.
we've done a few here and there. So Yeah. They're
Shout
pretty
out
cool
to those
guys.
guys.
Shout out to those guys. So I played a bunch of Saints Row 3 Remastered. And I played probably 5 hours of it on Saturday. So, jumped in, did definitely the intro and got through a bunch of the main story quests, then started some of the DLC. And I forgot how fucking funny that game is. So the very first, the setup to the game is basically like in the second game, you took down the Altor crime syndicate, and they were like a business / crime people thing, like mafia kind of deal. And having taken over their business, you are now like national celebrities. The Saints are national celebrities. And so your guy is running the Saints of Saints Row, who are no longer just a gang. Now they are a multimedia conglomerate and like doing movie deals and like commercials, and they have their own energy drink, and it's all just kinds of dumb shit. It's just so much stupid, and I love it so much. So the beginning is you and your crew have decided to go old school Saints and rob a bank because it's been too long since you've done some crime shit.
It's been too long.
It's been too long. So you are like going back to your old ways here, and you're going to go rob a bank. So you go into this high-rise bank and you dress up as yourselves and you rob a bank wearing masks of yourselves.
That's hilarious.
So that's already awesome. And you have
I feel like I played that
little
part.
voice things that change your voices, and you have all these kinds of awesome weapons in the first segment. And so you go through this bank and you're just wrecking people all the way through. And then you get to the vault, and the vault's locked, so you can't get through. So you have to go upstairs and blow a hole in the floor. And then you also blow a hole in the ceiling. And now you have called in your helicopter, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
And you've got to helicopter this vault out of this high-rise building. So the helicopter comes, you hook up the hooks to the vault.
Yeah, I don't know how the heck you just do that.
It just has hooks.
Just
like
has hooks.
whatever.
That's how they got it there in the first place.
Suspend your disbelief. Yes, probably that's how they got it there in the first place. So it's very like Fast 5. I would say, like,
Yep.
where is that the one where they steal the bank
think so,
vault and
yeah.
they drive it around? So physically impossible, but it's amazing.
bouncing around,
with
hitting
those
everything.
Chargers. They just got
Yes,
Chargers. They
with
can
the Chargers,
pull.
exactly. So it's very much like that, except cars. You have helicopter. So you're with Johnny Gat and Shaundi, and then Pierce, they're all three from the second game. And you're the leader, like I said. So Pierce is in the helicopter. Shaundi and Johnny Gat like go to defend all of the people coming at you while you're on the bank vault. So you are holding onto the cable that is hooked onto the bank vault while the helicopter, like you're on a roller coaster ride, basically. Helicopter lifts it up, and you guys are flying through the city with the bank vault, and you are shooting down helicopters while you are on top of the bank vault with an LMG, and you're one-handed reloading the LMG
What?
while holding onto the cable.
What in the world?
Like I said, suspend your disbelief a little bit. And so what you eventually find out, and this is in the first 5 fucking minutes, is that you've stolen the bank vault of a fellow crime syndicate who is now fucking furious that you've stolen from them.
Oh boy.
So basically you end up in, I believe it is Steelport instead of Stillwater. So the first 2 games were in Stillwater, and the new game is in Steelport. And so you don't have like all of your crew is in Stillwater.
Yeah.
So now you've basically got to start over. The crime syndicate steals all your money, and there are a couple of like crazy things that happen on top of the things that I already explained that are not necessary for the story purposes. So for those of you that have not played Saints Row 3, that's in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, it's fucking bonkers. The whole game is at 11 just constantly. And So you start over, and that's basically where I'm at right now. So I've got myself, I've got Shaundi, and I've got Pierce, and now us three have to rebuild the Saints in Steelport instead of in Stillwater.
Wow.
So there's a bunch of different missions you can do, and there's a bunch of different activities. Like, it's kind of like going off of what the Grand Theft Auto franchise established.
Yeah.
So you steal cars and you can take them to chop shops. You can customize your car, and you can buy places so that you like shops where you accrue money. So you just walk up to a building if it's for sale, and you can buy an apartment complex, and now you get a certain amount of hourly money accrued because you bought that building. And there are 3 different areas on the map that you can take over, and those things that are on the map, that's how you take over that area. So you buy the shops, you buy all of the things that are there to buy, you do the missions that are in those areas, and I'm just kind of getting started on. Like I said, I did some of the DLC, which does not really make a whole lot of sense if you haven't already done the main quest, actually. Because the first bit of DLC has to do with Johnny Gat, and Johnny went missing. And so in the DLC, the first thing that your character says is like, oh, I've missed Johnny so much. But like, it was fucking 12 minutes since I saw him last. So that doesn't really make sense having started that DLC immediately after I started the game, but you totally can. And so I took over a couple of areas, and like, I kind of forgot how difficult the beginning of that game was. So I don't have any money. I don't have any crew. I can't call in anybody. I don't have any cars. Like, I'm in a shitty fucking apartment. And I did do the first like story mission where you get a like pad to hang out at. You get a quarters for your crew. And that is one of the best uses of music that I've ever experienced in a game. So they use, and I don't think I can do it on the pod because I'm pretty sure it's like a licensing violation, probably. But I don't want to give spoilers either, because it just, every time I do this segment, and I've played this game a couple times, it just brings a huge fucking smile to my face. Like, this is awesome. It uses Kanye West's Power, which you'd probably recognize if you heard it. You may not recognize it immediately.
I probably know it.
And it's so fucking good. Like, everything about it is awesome. The timing, like, they have repetitively done this so that the way the timing works of the song, you should be pretty much done with that mission by the time the song finishes playing. And there are segments that happen at the right times in time with the song.
Oh, that's awesome.
Impressively, like, it's good. It's so fucking good.
I love that. That's like the thing they use a lot of times in movies, like lining up the, like even in trailers you see it. Like it goes with the music. And like every hit, every reload, every shot lines up with the freaking song.
Right.
It's so awesome.
And it's so much easier
Baby
to
Driver.
do.
Have you seen Baby Driver?
No.
Dude, that's a perfect, you like Baby Driver just for the use of that. You would. The whole movie is about this guy who basically drives for people. He's a driver for people who do heists.
Okay.
So, and he listens
it's like
to music.
Driver.
So, yeah, it's like Driver. So, anytime, whenever somebody does a heist, he puts on his earbuds and he listens to music while he drives away from the cops. And everything lines up with the music. It's a really good movie.
That's pretty cool, actually.
You'd like it.
All right. I'll check out Baby Driver. That's much harder to do in games, though.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Because you have to like play through it. It's not just something you're watching. You have to, you have to time it with you going through the game, progressing through.
Yeah. So I am always impressed when the Volition guys can manage to make that happen. Like they do. They have a couple segments in the 4th game as well. And there are multiple music segments in this game. Like I have gone through 3 of them, but there's probably 8. Like there's one for each character. There's like, I'm pretty sure it's in the 3rd one where you've got like loyalty missions basically. And there's one for each character as you do the loyalty missions. It may be in the 4th one. But in the 3rd one, I did notice some things like, first of all, it looks beautiful. Like the screenshots, and I took a bunch of videos while I was playing. Like the lighting that they changed and the graphics that they improved and the character animations, like everything looks really, really fucking good. It's definitely the best looking Saints Row game that I have played ever. Definitely looks better than the fourth one, which was actually released on Xbox One back at the launch of this generation in 2013. And I really hope we get a remastered fourth game. Like that would be cool.
They remastered it?
No.
I played it on. It says is it re-elected or is
Yes,
that the
correct. So that was re-released, but not remastered.
Okay.
Like it's still
because I
basically looks the same.
I play re-elected on my PC. I started playing it, but I haven't gotten that far in it yet. But yeah. So they took some pains to make this game look a lot better. Like the lighting when it rains, when you're driving in the rain, all that looks really, really nice. I did notice some things about the mission structure that I maybe didn't love. Like in terms of, so for instance, in the DLC that I played, like my character has a time limit to go do a thing. Like that's the next segment is, okay, get in a car and go do this next thing. But you can't get in the car and leave until the other two NPCs also get in the car. No.
Yep.
So what I went to
glitching
do
out all the time.
What I went to do, because when I started driving away the first time on the mission, they just teleported into the car, which I was like, okay, that's better. I can drive away and they will be in the car. But when I did the next segment of the mission, that didn't happen. So I get in the car and I start driving away because the motherfucker didn't jump in with me. And now I have a timer to go back and get the guy ticking down, as well as a timer to go the other fucking direction to go do the other part of the quest that I'm supposed to do.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, God damn, now I have two timers in opposite directions. So I was kind of, I ended up making it. Like the time wasn't that constricted that I wasn't going to make it to the next segment. But I was like, well, fucking great. I hope I have enough time to do both things. I was just kind of annoyed by it that they included that in there. Like just either let me do it, drive away and teleport, or don't. Like or why don't, only sometimes have that be the case. And those kind of things I think have been like ironed out as we've gone through this generation of games, because this was obviously a previous generation game, and it seems like they've more or less kept the way those missions work completely intact.
Yeah.
And it's more of a visual facelift than it is any sort of like complete reboot. Like it is an actual remastering for the graphics.
Redo every single file. Like,
Right. So that's a little bit of a bummer that some of that stuff could have been ironed out. I didn't really run into any glitches though, so maybe they ironed out some of the glitches. And seeing as how that game came out at the end of last generation, there were segments about that on 360 that didn't run super well.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice anything in this game where I was like, oh, fucking hey. Most of it ran really well, like blowing up cars and even blowing up 6 or 7 cars at a time with a rocket launcher. All of that looked really nice. All of it ran really well. I didn't have any trouble there.
That kind of reminds me of when I replayed Crackdown on my Xbox One.
Right.
Because that game took a Xbox 360 and basically made it implode a lot of times if you started doing a lot of stuff at once. And on the Xbox One, it's like this game is nothing. Mm-hmm. Like it's the graphics don't look much better.
Right.
They didn't really do anything to it besides they optimized it better.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite games to just go back and just play, because it's like your Saints Row to me is Crackdown.
Right.
Because you get the superpowers, and that's one of my favorite things to do is just jump around and collect all the agility orbs.
Right.
So I've went back so many times just to play that.
Saints Row 4 is like a spiritual successor to Crackdown.
Yeah, and I've heard that, but I've just never had 4.
It's good. Like
to go from I was a Grand Theft Auto guy, and Crackdown I feel like did the whole Grand Theft Auto in a different way, a little better to my taste.
Yeah.
Than Saints Row.
Yeah.
Sorry. But like in general to me, like that game just felt better to me than Saints Row did.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because Saints Row takes it a little too far for my taste.
Right. A little too stupid, a little too 11.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. But I feel like I should go back and play it again. Maybe 4. Or
I mean,
3 remastered.
I would maybe recommend jumping in with the remastered version of 3.
Yeah.
Like Andrew was asking me for games to play a little while ago, and I had already given him Saints Row.
Yeah.
I said play Saints Row. So now that the remaster is out, like I cannot recommend it enough. Like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking good. I do think some of the like mission pacing could be a little bit better, having only gone through a couple of them. It's like, well, they just make games differently now. Like you can tell it doesn't flow maybe as well as it could.
Yeah.
And one thing I did notice though while I was playing it, I thought like last generation, everybody was trying to like chase Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of ways. And even
yeah.
prior to the last generation, that's what people were trying to do.
mean,
You know, we got like True Crime.
Yeah.
Saints Row started as a Grand Theft Auto clone and then went in a different direction. Games like Sleeping Dogs.
What was the other
That was
one?
Square Enix's
Watch
game.
Dogs.
Watch Dogs. Yeah, for
Kind
sure.
of.
That's kind of a Grand Theft Auto inspired game,
Yeah.
certainly.
Grand Theft Auto with hacking.
I guess it was.
Right.
I guess it was the first Saints Row that was like around the same time as the PS2 Grand Theft Auto games, right?
Saints Row, the original, was a launch game for the 360, basically.
Okay.
So Saints Row hit at a time when Grand Theft Auto was not yet on next-gen consoles.
Yeah.
So 2005, 2006. And that is what got a lot of people into Saints Row, was like, okay, here's this game that's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. You already love playing Grand Theft Auto. Here's your next-gen Grand Theft Auto.
Or
And it
was
looked really good, played really good.
True Crime.
True Crime was, Los Angeles, and I think they did New York. I'm pretty sure they did 2 of them.
Those are the ones that were like at the same time, but they did like silly things that Grand Theft Auto didn't do.
Right. And
Kind of
I've
like
never
Saints
played.
Row?
Yeah, I've never played True Crime. There was also that open world 50 Cent game. Could you be thinking of Blood in the Sand?
No,
'Cause that was real.
that was real. I know that was real. I like the other. There was a couple of 50 Cent games. The first one I think I played,
Yeah.
and I liked that one a lot.
I was reminded of that game not too long ago, and also the Def Jam Vendetta fighting
that was
games.
such a good game.
But what
Jam
the point
Vendetta.
I want to talk about on the podcast was like, we did not get much new IP for this generation.
Yeah,
No.
true.
Like definitely not open world IP. Like, did games just exponentially become harder to make in terms of open world games? Like,
I think because they have to be so massive now. Like, think of how big the map is for Red Dead, or
Right.
how big the map is for Grand Theft Auto.
right,
I mean, those are big maps.
for sure.
Witcher is massive.
Fuck. Yeah, The Witcher's a good point for sure.
Yeah.
The game is. I haven't even made it through half of that map.
For sure. I mean, I guess we did get. Well, no, Fallout's not a new franchise. We had Fallout 3 on 360. I'm just bummed.
They're not.
I guess.
They're not like new IP, but I think it's just that they're so like these games are so big now that the smaller developers just can't keep up.
I like playing Saints Row 3 Remastered made me want a remastered version, not only of 4, but also of Sleeping Dogs. Like, I played all 3 of those games probably within 2 years of each other.
I remember you talked a lot about Sleeping Dogs.
I did. Sleeping Dogs is really good, and it's already on this generation of consoles.
And it's remastered.
I mean, it looks better,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look great. Like, it
thought
doesn't look like Saints Row 3.
They remastered it, right?
They improved the visuals at launch, but they gave it a definitive edition.
That's
Let's
what it
say
was,
that. So it
definitive
wasn't remastered. It was the definitive edition, which was like upgraded visuals for next gen and DLC.
Yeah.
So we got the same thing with
We all
Tomb
got
Raider.
that free with
Yeah.
with Xbox Live.
And I already had it.
Yeah.
because it was one of my favorite
But
games of
you
last
had told me,
generation.
like you made sure to tell me that month, this is free. Make
Yes.
sure you get it.
Please claim this because Sleeping Dogs is really good.
Haven't got to start it yet.
But
I started it. I just didn't get that far in.
It takes more getting used to than something like Saints Row, just because Saints Row plays so much like Grand Theft Auto already does.
Yeah.
You'll be immediately familiar with it. But Sleeping Dogs takes Batman's combat.
Yeah,
and it puts it into the open world of like an open world game. And that takes some getting used to, because I do not like Batman, and I do not like the way those games play, unfortunately. I just don't like it. I can't do it. I don't like the timed button presses.
You don't like that, like Assassin's Creed? You don't like the time button pressing there, like the countering?
I didn't. What's the last one I played? Unity, probably?
Unity
was the last one I played, and I didn't really care for the way that worked.
You don't like countering systems in general, or?
Primarily, probably, yeah.
Okay.
I guess...
I mean, that's a good way to do melee games, melee-based story games, though. Like, I mean, obviously you have your guns and stuff like that, but there's no really good way to do swords unless it is some kind of parry system.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. Otherwise,
really
it's just
hard.
button mashing.
Like
Otherwise, it's just press X until they die.
Yep.
I do that a lot in Assassin's Creed games. It's like just they'll die eventually.
Yeah, I kind of
Or
just
I'll
prefer
lose,
the press X until they die.
It's
I don't
easier
know.
to do it for me in Assassin's Creed. Like once you get the countering down, because it's just like you can take down a whole squad of people relatively quickly, as long as you're just countering at the right time. Which I think Assassin's Creed, especially 4, did it way too easy. Like Assassin's Creed 4 is way too easy to take down people. It's just like counter stab, and you're through the game. Like
Right.
Yeah, but I haven't played a lot of the newer Assassin's Creed, so I don't know if it got
they've
better,
changed
if it's
it or
got
whatever.
worse.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you guys' some of your guys' favorite new IP for this generation? Like Call of Duty doesn't count, Fallout doesn't count. Those are probably two of the franchises I've played the most.
Yeah.
Paladins is technically a new IP. I think that counts for sure. I played a lot of Paladins. Overwatch,
I'd
Titanfall,
PUBG.
PUBG counts.
say PUBG or Apex or
A lot of the battle royale games were this gen.
Yeah.
So, and that's what a lot of places focused on, like a lot of companies focused on, was doing the battle royale games. I mean, even VR for me. I mean, that's all
That's
new
a good
IP.
point.
That's all new IP.
VR is a good
Especially
point.
PlayStation VR, like that's a whole new IP too. Like that's a whole new introduction to gaming.
Right.
Which they didn't have that on PS3 or anything like that. So, or Xbox 360.
Yeah, I didn't
They
think
kinda had it
about
with
I didn't think
Kinect
about
or
VR. Like VR is huge.
It's like a new IP in itself.
Yeah,
like, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's an entirely new
if I had to
platform.
go with a game that wasn't multiplayer, that was a new IP that I thought was my favorite, it'd probably be Unravel.
Okay. Nice.
Unravel. I
Yeah.
haven't played Unravel 2, but that game, like the story just it held you there. Like it wanted you wanted to finish that story.
Yeah.
And it probably hits me different because I'm a super family oriented person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that's about is like the connections between people, whether it's family or not.
Right.
That the whole game is about that.
Yeah.
And it's super like I wanted to play it over again, and I did. I think I played through it twice. Just to make sure I got everything, and
Right.
and that was a really cool next gen game that didn't have to look really good, but it did. Like it looked really good. You're a little yarn guy, but everything around you was amazing.
Isn't the guy's name Yarny?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's super.
That's
trying to
how I
look up-
remembered what the name of the game was. I Googled the Yarny.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to look up some different ones because I bet there's a lot more than I'm thinking.
Well, GameSpot put out an article because it's kind of been nice with this, everybody like being on shutdown and stuff like that. Like Kotaku, GameSpot, IGN even, like they've been writing actual like critical thinking style articles that are kind of fun to read. Like they don't really like people haven't like they're so busy covering news that they don't have time to like let's reflect for a minute.
Yeah.
And GameStop put out an article, GameSpot, my bad, about like, let's reflect on the last 10 years of games. Like, let's go back to 2010 and think about what games were like then versus now.
There was a lot less indie games for sure. I think a lot of the new IP, like a bunch of it's indie games. I mean, even you think of My Friend Pedro.
Right.
I mean, that's not a super big indie game,
That's a
but it
huge
is.
one.
That is a huge
Yeah.
one.
One,
Like,
and then what was the other one that was like that? Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead. That's a good
another
one
really
for
fun
sure.
one. That was
Yeah. I mean, that one had even support from Microsoft pretty heavily for sure. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about some of that because some of the things they brought up were like, okay, in 2010, microtransactions were barely a thing.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty had microtransactions. Loot boxes were not a thing.
no.
Correct.
Free to play almost didn't exist except for on mobile. Let's see, what else? Crossplay obviously was a pie in the sky.
Yeah,
This is a thing
definitely.
that we maybe want. Battle Royale did not exist as a genre, primarily. I cannot vouch for when PUBG started, but that's kind of what they were saying.
Well, I know a lot, like, it's kind of stupid, but Minecraft had a battle royale kind of thing for a long time,
Yeah.
too. Like, there was one called, there's like a
lot of them
world.
were just called Hunger
an
Games.
online world, yeah, like Hunger Games. Exactly.
call it Minecraft
They literally
Hunger
call it-
Games.
Which is technically a battle royale, but it wasn't like any of the big new IP that we see today. Battle royale. Like, I don't know when PUBG came out. I know it was in the early works maybe before Xbox One, but I don't know for sure.
They had developers on talking about like, okay, in 2010, they were just launching the Kinect and the PlayStation Eye, and the Wii had motion controls.
Yeah.
And the Wii was still one of the hottest selling consoles in 2010. And so the idea was that, like, okay, I guess we'll just have motion controls from here on out. And that kind of didn't pan out.
Didn't stick.
No.
Like,
No, the Wii was a hit and miss. I mean, a lot of people were like, okay, it was cool. You got Wii bowling and all that
Right.
good stuff.
I think
But, like,
Wii's
it just
still
didn't-
one of the best selling consoles ever.
It
is.
It is for sure.
yeah.
Because it motivated people to get moving, and they're like, "Oh, this is the console I can buy my child to get him to actually do this, sitting on his butt, and not going outside." You know, so that's, I mean, plus you had like titles like Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers, things like that.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot
it
of
was-
really good
Yeah, it was very
first-party
innovative
games,
for
especially.
sure. But like freaking Star Wars. No, that was Kinect. Never mind. The
Well,
Star
yeah,
Wars game.
Star Wars dance game. I mean, even Kinect, when you look at that, like, that game is not great.
It's not, and it's funny when like the Emperor's like, "Let me do it myself." And he gets up and he's like doing all these stupid freaking Star
Right.
Wars moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I mean, it's like anything you could do with a Star Wars game, you chose to do that. That's crazy. But yeah, but I mean, it brought it. I think that's what kind of inspired VR though too. I mean, a lot of the
Was the
motion control-
Kinect and
I don't-
motion
yeah,
controls.
motion controls. I
I
don't know
mean-
necessarily about the Kinect, but
Right.
like kind of like the Wii controls, like the PlayStation Move was a thing.
6-axis controller.
I mean, we grew up at different times. So, like, in 2010, Colin, what do you think the games were that you were playing?
A lot of it was like Call of Duty, Little Big Planet, Metal Gear Solid, because that was a lot of PlayStation.
Okay.
But,
Gotcha.
yeah, I didn't play a whole lot of movement stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was that PlayStation Eye game that I ended up buying that was like the Kung Fu Live. We
Okay.
had such a good time playing it. It's so stupid of a game, but it was
Right.
fun to play. Yeah,
Well, I mean, there's just, other than in VR, there's nothing like that anymore.
it's true. There is nothing
And
like that. You're right.
VR
Like
is
consoles aren't offering that. I mean, obviously
Right.
with the PlayStation, but that's PlayStation VR.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep. You've got to buy that separately
Yeah.
for an additional $400.
Exactly.
Like,
It's $400.
I don't know what it is.
don't
now.
know.
I think it's
It
like
was when
almost 300 now. I think it's a lot
yeah, it was when it launched.
because it's not as good as like the Rift and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like I guess maybe I could have predicted free to play games coming because that was, I mean, I played mobile games in
Yeah.
2010. There have been free to play games on PC for a very long time.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, back when I was just getting PCs when I was a kid, it came loaded with games.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
I'm a kid, I'm like, I don't give a
Pinball.
fuck.
Freaking
I'll play fucking
pinball was
pinball.
amazing.
Pinball Cadet, Space
Yeah, dude, Space
Pinball,
Cadet.
whatever the fuck that game was
Yeah.
called.
That
Hey,
game
Space
was
Cadets
awesome.
2000 or something
Was
stupid.
awesome.
Dude, it was. I
That was
still
one
want
of
to
the
play
best
that.
games. Yeah, for sure.
Pull out my freaking Windows XP. Dude, yeah, let's go.
I bet you they have an app for that game.
I spent probably an hour and a half.
Check if they do.
About 3 weeks ago, researching a game online that I played on my HP PC back in like probably 2006. And it was a loot-based dungeon crawler where you just had to go through and loot and kill and
Was it on the Wild Tangent? game?
Yes,
on
that game was
iOS.
fun.
Old Space Pinball is what it's called, Space
my
Cadet.
God,
But I look at
that's
Space
awesome.
Cadet, and it's literally the exact same thing. It looks the exact same.
Yeah, I don't remember what that game is called, but
so
I played that
I
game a
do.
lot.
It was called Fate.
Fate, yes. I played the crap out of
I
that
played
game.
so much fucking Fate
Dr. Fate.
in 2006
Yeah. Yeah.
when it was on my age.
We didn't play Titan Quest?
I didn't play
Yeah.
Titan Quest. I couldn't remember like who published it. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember Wild Tangent or anything like
I
that.
remember Wild Tangent because I played that game. They had the Chicken Invaders.
Yep.
And
And I played so much of that game circa 2006, and I spent hours looking up what that game was.
I spent a lot of time playing Flash games around that time. Like
For
I
sure,
remember,
yeah.
we
what
did
was
at
it?
school. Yeah.
Kinetic
Yeah, we
Games
did while
or
we were supposed to be
Congregate,
working.
Congregate.com. Dude, that was like our addicting games.
And I mean,
Yeah,
again,
there's
those
a lot.
are free to play games.
those are.
Like
Ads.
kind of
like there was like the
saw
side
that
ads.
coming, like ad
There was,
supported,
like,
right?
There weren't videos that popped up. There was like side ads.
Right,
Yeah.
You
right.
clicked on them, you might end up on a porn site. Yeah, like that's how it
From
was,
the
man.
kids game site.
Hey,
yeah.
it wasn't a kids game site. There's a lot of blood in these games, a little flash blood, you know.
Yeah. I mean those were the edgy days of the internet.
gosh, what
now
was
it's
it?
all so
Newgrounds.
Stick Wars.
Yeah.
Stick Wars 2. Like what was
Stick
it?
Wars was good.
Or what was it? Is that what it's called? Or God.
We always get into Flash.
Territory Wars.
Yeah.
Freaking Territory Wars. That's what it was. You gotta like place your little stick figures around certain places, and then they have to like shoot each other from a distance. I can't remember.
I mean,
well, I have this game on my phone. I literally have an old PC Flash game on it because I love it that much. It's called Age of War,
Okay.
and like there's 2 towers, and it's one of those things you have to spawn things and
Like
you get
tower
money
defense?
when you kill each other.
Yeah.
But, like there's only 2 spots. It's just
Yeah.
a linear plane.
Yes.
And then like you can like rain stuff down from the sky on the God, it's so
Yep.
dumb. But like there's a way
Sounds
to
like me
cheat
with
and
the
you get
tank
like
game.
a bunch of these. You can get like I can't think of what they're called. They're like turrets.
Okay.
And like and you go through the time. So like it starts with cavemen, though then goes to like knights, then goes to like the church, like he's like churchy era. I don't know, they don't have armor on or anything, like farmers.
Right.
And then it goes to like modern day war and then to the future. And then like the future turrets like are so OP that like it ends up killing them as soon as they spawn out of their tower, and it hits their tower too after it kills them because it continues shooting a little bit.
Mhm.
So it literally kills their tower like that. It's pretty stupid.
That
Yeah.
is.
I don't know why they never fixed that, but yeah. I played it literally last week on my phone.
Oh my God.
They have an
sounds
Age of
like-
War 2 now.
Yeah,
and it's a little
that
bit
sounds like
updated.
me with Pocket Tanks.
Wow.
There's a lot of old
Did you play
Flash games.
Pocket Tanks? back in the
I
day?
did not play Pocket Tanks.
Where you
I'm
like
not sure.
two tanks spawn, like, and then it just builds the terrain in between you guys,
Okay.
and you have to calculate your angle and your
Oh, I played
power.
that, yeah.
And then there's like different shots. There's a groundhog shot that goes underground.
Okay.
And there's the nuke or napalm. And I found that game on the phone on the Android store,
Mm-hmm.
and it still has all of the same stuff. Where I've almost purchased the deluxe pack, like I don't know, so many times. I'm waiting to have enough Google money saved up to buy it because it's ridiculous to spend $5 on a game
It is.
that
It's redonkulous.
literally nobody will ever play with
Right.
me
Right.
because it's free and someone should play it with me, Ryan. But
Maybe.
it's so fun.
Maybe so.
But
You
like,
can take turns. Like I'll do my turn and then it'll go away, and then you do your turn later in the day, and it'll say, "Oh, Ryan did his turn," and go back and forth.
okay.
okay.
Gotcha. Noted. Thank you, Troy. What is it called again?
Pocket tanks.
Pocket tanks. All right. So it's asymmetrical multiplayer is the
Yeah.
thing you're trying to describe. Got it. Yeah, that sounds all right. I might try that.
fun.
There's a couple games that utilize asymmetrical multiplayer to its advantage. Scrabble is one of them. I like Scrabble quite a bit. But yeah, we didn't.
Fuck playing words with friends with Ryan. That was a horrible choice.
Come on, man.
It's a horrible
Words with
choice
Friends is cool.
because you're really good at it.
English major.
I know.
That's why he doesn't like any other games.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
This is not good at him.
You're not wrong. So yeah, I mean, I hope in the next generation, like we have some up and coming developers that are willing, or publishers rather, that are willing to take bigger risks than what we had in this generation. So you got your EAs, you got your Activisions, and they're still making games, but they're still kind of pumping out
the
things we've already played. Like Destiny, I guess, is a new IP for this generation that we kind of didn't bring up. That a lot of
Warframe,
people like. Warframe, Warface.
Yeah,
was also a game.
There's also Hellblade. Or was that?
Yeah.
Hellblade. I didn't play it, but I know that's one.
Yeah,
I just thought about that.
Yep. Microsoft owns that now, and towards the end of the generation, we got a little bit more. Like the Outer Worlds was pretty new. Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
And like there are always going to be people making games on a smaller scale than what the other guys are putting out. But I think probably my savior for next gen is going to be Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But that'll only be one game that'll come out at the beginning of that generation. So I don't know. Do you think we'll just get more sequels? Like, what do you guys think? So for the next 10 years, in 2030, in 10 years, in 2030, if we're still doing this fucking podcast, I have no idea. If we will be on episode 800 or something. What do you guys think in 2030 gaming will bring? Like, obviously, I think we will see the continued evolution of VR.
Yeah.
I think that'll be almost it.
Ubiquitous?
Like,
you think VR will be ubiquitous?
I think it'll be one of those things where it almost comes like a Ready Player One kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't even know if I'm correct in saying that. But like,
hey, you get the gist.
Like you got the whole like you got your whole VR station. You know, you got the treadmill. You got the. They're already doing like the sensors, like where you can actually feel touch and stuff like that. Like that's
like the haptic feedback.
The haptic
vest
feedback.
Is what you're talking
exactly.
About?
Yeah. I think they'll get further into haptic feedback, and people are going to be really attracted to that. Then that's when VR is really going to take off, is because people are literally not only seeing things and feeling like they're actually going to feel those things and experience them.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Like, say there's an apocalypse, you know, and people are like, "Oh, you can't go outside. Now you got to experience outdoors in VR."
I mean, here we are.
Trick your mind.
Kind of almost in an apocalypse.
Yeah, dude. Like, when I'm playing Pavlov, dude, like I feel like I'm in Pavlov. I feel like I'm actually shooting people. Like first time I shot myself in the head, it was the scariest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why did I do that? And then I saw my own dead body. I thought I just died, and that was me.
That is a fucked up thing to do, for sure.
When you kill yourself in VR, you really kill yourself.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's really scary.
I think so. My argument against the possibility of VR would be that I appreciate the compatibility that it has. So, like Steam VR and Oculus work together with very few hitches.
Yeah.
Like it mostly just works.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, but I think as we get into VR, those will become more and more segmented. So I think we get to a point in the future where Oculus is Oculus and Steam is Steam.
Really?
Yep.
You don't think? That's tough because I don't think people would buy Oculus if it wasn't for Steam being a thing. Like, for example, I wouldn't have gotten Oculus if I wasn't able to play Pavlov on it. Pavlov is a Steam exclusive. So there's a lot. Steam has a lot. Like everybody wants to put their games on Steam. I mean, not everybody, but like a lot of people want to put their Steam.
But Oculus has Facebook's backing, so it doesn't fucking matter if it has Steam. It has Steam right now because they want early adopters to tell everybody how awesome Oculus is. This is the similar to what we got with like. Trying to think of a good example of like. Some people
original Xbox with no, because that wasn't even I was thinking original Xbox with Halo, but that was exclusive.
Well, yeah, so it's probably more akin to just like Microsoft in general and the way that they tried to bridge the gap or failed to bridge the gap between the 360 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So Oculus right now has a lot of goodwill towards it because of its intercompatibility with Steam and Windows mixed reality and stuff like that. But I think eventually we get to a point where Facebook says Oculus is Oculus and Steam is Steam, and we are optimizing Oculus to be its own thing. Mm-hmm. And Valve and Steam and whoever's making Valve's headsets now, the Index, and the HTC Vive, like those are going to live in their own world and will not be intercompatible with Oculus games and vice versa. I think we get to a point where that happens with VR. I think it becomes more of a closed system.
But Oculus has been more of a budget system than it has been a really immersive VR experience. Like, I don't think that was necessarily their goal when it came to making the Rift S. Because they had the Rift.
Certainly not with the Rift S.
The Rift S isn't like significantly so much better than the Rift. I mean, it is a lot better.
It's cheaper.
But it's
which is the thing that matters.
It is cheaper, yeah. So I do think it is it's almost it's half the price of the Valve Index.
Right.
Less than half the price. And like that alone is good. So I don't think I see them doing that. I almost see them just being the cheaper option for maybe people who like the new consoles, for example. Maybe they'll release a less powerful version, such as a Switch Lite. So like Oculus Rift is now going to be the Switch Lite, even though Oculus is like the people that really started the whole VR thing. They're really the ones that really kicked it off.
Right.
But other people are like, we know how to do it better, and I just don't think Oculus is going to take over that VR, or at least do very well.
With everything going on right now, the way it's all moving to everything being cross compatible or
and less exclusivity.
I think that it's going to keep going in that direction more than going away. Like, what if later on we're like, Colin's got the better setup and he's playing Call of Duty in VR and I'm playing with him, but I'm on my Xbox.
Well, that
would be cool.
There's the Forest, which is just a game for PC.
Yeah. But
I can play in VR. My brother can play on PC. It's not a VR game, but I can play it in VR. Minecraft, same thing. Minecraft, I can play Minecraft in VR and play the same, I'm pretty sure, the same level that you are on.
Yeah, definitely.
Server. So I can actually do that myself, which is trippy, but you can do it.
Well, I guess like the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store, the digital storefronts, like those are separate and they will never be together. And I have a hard time thinking that Oculus is going to stay this like open market kind of deal. Like they are eventually not going to want you to buy games on Steam when you could fucking buy them on Oculus.
They don't have better exclusives, though.
And I don't think that matters. And they can get better exclusives because they're a billion-dollar company.
Yeah, but there's also, like, the Steam community, which the Oculus doesn't have a good community. There's no good community pages or anything like that.
Yep.
Like Oculus, the way you do your friends on Oculus is a little bit sketch.
It sucks because you have to have Facebook.
Steam is like way better for it, and most of your friends are already on Steam. So if they get VR, you just hop on like that instead of it being a separate thing.
I'm not saying it won't be a problem for them. I'm saying it will happen. It will absolutely be a problem, and it will suck ass.
Jeez. But like at the same time, Oculus doesn't have that many good exclusives. More people are wanting to make games for Steam VR.
Right.
Which I think more publishers are wanting to do that too. Unless Oculus somehow offers a better deal, or those game companies are making more money than they would be on Steam. Yeah. Yep. So I'm not
That's
sure.
how you solve that problem.
Kind of how.
Yeah, like they have right now they only have like the Star Wars stuff. They have the Star Wars stuff. But most of like Stormland, I think there's like two more that are Oculus exclusives, but they still aren't that good.
Okay.
Like they're good. It's a reason to have Oculus Store. But right now, there's a way to play Oculus. Like if you don't have an Oculus, there's still ways to get on Oculus Store and play Oculus games.
So what about
backed by Oculus?
What about for next gen consoles? So do you so they're launching this year in 2020. In 2020 or 2027, I guess we'll maybe get a new console, whatever that ends up being. So by 2030, we will have gone through this gen and we will be on next gen.
Jeez.
So do you think by the end of this console generation, the PS5 and the
Series X,
the Xbox Series X get some sort of VR compatibility? In 7 years, do you think that happens?
Well, I have to take a look at where we are right now, too, in order to say that, because Xbox, Phil Spencer talked a little bit about, I'm pretty sure it's Phil Spencer, they talked a little bit about VR.
He did a little bit and said that he was not opposed to it, but they were not focusing
They're not focusing on it. Exactly. So, I could very well see it becoming a thing, but I also could very well see it not being a thing and not having it be that big of a deal, because obviously you have the more single player based game, because VR, you have to stand up. You got to do all that.
Right.
It's a physical activity. So you're still going to want to have those games where you're actually sitting down, relaxing, hanging out with your family, not just everybody's wearing headsets and sucked into fake reality.
Right.
Or virtual reality, literally.
What about for, do we see a future where Microsoft buys Nintendo? Is that a possibility in the future? And this is like a out there theory. They have worked together in the past. How much money would that take?
I don't think they would buy them, because that wouldn't.
It's a respect thing.
Yeah, I think they would just.
Yeah, but Sony would buy Nintendo fucking tomorrow.
Sony. So, but Microsoft would be like, "No, we'll back you, dude."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So
we'll just help you out. We want your stuff on ours and our stuff on yours.
Exactly.
Okay, well, all right. What's your next gen, your mainline prediction for next gen?
Considering Minecraft Dungeon came out day and date on everything, and it's all crossplay.
Okay.
I feel that crossplay thing is going to get bigger.
All right.
I agree.
To the point of where it doesn't matter what I buy it on. If my friend has it, we can play together.
Yep.
And that's my big thing. Is just I know we've talked Call of Duty to death, but
yeah,
that game being cross-play across everything is big. It's super big, and I didn't expect that to happen that fast.
Right.
Not to mention, it's still weird to log on to my Xbox and see that I have friends that are on their PC, but it shows me what game they're playing, they're my Xbox friend.
Yep. Yeah, that is weird.
Austin came back into work today. He's back to work after being off for however long. And that's how I knew he got a new PC, is because it doesn't show an Xbox symbol there now.
Yeah.
It shows a PC.
Yep.
So I was like, you got a PC, huh? He's like, yeah, you saw that, huh? Yep. That's cool.
Sport.
That's just the way everything's going is more of a.
What about game streaming? Where's that going?
Dude, there's so many questions.
This is the last one.
Okay, well, I want to comment a little bit more about the whole next gen thing, which Troy was saying about the cross compatibility. But both consoles, Microsoft and Sony, have talked about having less exclusive games, going away from the exclusivity of the Xbox and the PS4.
Right.
Microsoft really doesn't care anymore. That's why Minecraft became a thing for PS4 and Switch.
Yeah.
Because Minecraft was they had the right to Minecraft, but they're like,
they could have taken it away.
They could, right. Well, they could have, and they didn't. They're like, Minecraft Dungeons, we're going to release it on all platforms. We have the rights to it, but we're still going to do that.
Dungeons is on PS4?
Dungeons is on PS4,
everything.
Switch, PC, Xbox One. Yep.
That's, all right.
Day and date on everything.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
You just own it.
Yeah,
right.
PC and Xbox,
just mine.
2 consoles. That's where I think the Xboxes might take over a little bit. It's because you got the PC in the Xbox.
It's a good play.
You switch back and forth.
Microsoft's plan is a good one.
It is.
For helping to win over people for next generation.
You don't have to buy one or the other,
Is already only on PC now, but it's coming to the console.
Right.
So even the PC games that I don't actually have access to right now, I know I'm going to get to play them because of the whole Game Pass Ultimate, where some things start off here and then move over here.
Right.
And then vice versa. Sometimes they start off on console and then they show up on the PC.
Okay. That's a good jumping off point.
Yeah.
So Xbox Game Pass works very well.
Yes.
And will presumably continue to work until Microsoft doesn't feel like supporting it anymore. And that may be just the thing that they do from now on.
Yeah.
They already roll Xbox Live into it. They are already rolling the game streaming thing into it.
Yep.
What about Does Nintendo make this? Does Sony expand PlayStation Now to act like Game Pass?
I doubt it. Most PCs are already like a Microsoft. Like you don't see a lot of Macs. You don't see like Microsoft is PC now. Like most computers, most people, most things that people game on is Windows.
Nobody likes the Windows Store, from what I've heard.
Yeah, Windows Store is kind of pretty buggy. It's pretty buggy. Like I have problems with it.
It needs some improvements for sure.
But I mean,
I've heard the same thing about the Xbox in general. So, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't see Sony doing that.
Okay.
No,
they're gonna focus on their movies.
Okay.
Now you can game in movies.
Yeah.
Make your own movie.
The whole jump into.
I don't think there's any way they can't.
YouTube. Yeah.
I don't think there's any way that Sony goes through this next, like maybe through this next generation, they still say, okay, PlayStation Now is $10. It's still game streaming. Maybe that runs better by the end of the generation than it does currently because it doesn't function very well right now, according to reports. But like, that stuff will get better. It will get faster. It will get more reliable.
They don't have the power of, what is it, Azure?
Azure, yeah.
That Microsoft is just
actually they do, because they partnered with Microsoft on Azure with their game streaming stuff
for PlayStation.
Yeah, so they're already working together.
Actually do.
They're just not using it. Microsoft's like, no, turn theirs down. Just like three notches.
You guys get the off brand. I mean, it's still the same brand. But
theirs is just called Blue.
Yeah. But like Google Stadia and Amazon getting into games, like I just wonder where that's going to go. Like by the end of this next generation, do we have maybe a 50-50 split where you're streaming most games, or streaming some games and downloading some games? Like, is the terabyte SSD limit on the next generation consoles going to be a huge fucking deal?
Yeah.
It was a huge deal before Netflix became a thing to download a movie.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. They're huge.
Storage is expensive.
Storage is expensive. Fast storage is even more expensive.
Yeah.
So if they fix the game streaming thing where you
Microsoft
just stream games,
pretty
that
darn close.
eliminates the need to have a fast SSD. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's like. Obviously, I can't predict the future, but I just worry about the game streaming thing versus like looking at the tech demo for the PS5, the Unreal Engine demo we looked at a couple of episodes ago. Like, that is an impossibility through game streaming. No way that feels good if you were streaming that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel good now.
No.
Like, I don't know. There are so many questions, guys. All right. Well, we went off on a little bit of a deal there. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with some more shit. Oh, we don't really have a pod to plug. Do you guys want to plug a pod?
No. I think we just do.
We did plug a pod earlier.
Yeah, so just do.
Oh, we did. We plugged Grief Burrito.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
just put Grief Burrito.
We're going to hear from Grief Burrito again.
Why not?
BRB.
I'm Harrison. And I'm Jordan. And we're the Grief Burrito Podcast. Do you want to listen to the #1 gaming podcast on Podchaser? Of course you do.
Wait. Is that us? Did you check that?
There's comedy, gaming, and movies. Join us every Wednesday on the Grief Burrito Podcast. Fuck. No, I'd panic. That was
All right, and we're back from break, everybody. Thanks to Grief Burrito for letting us run their promo. We are going to get to a little thing we like to call the news time.
Yeah, news.
Alan? All right.
Breaking news.
Hey, is it news time?
God, Troy.
Bye, Troy.
Yes, it's fucking news time, Troy.
Oh, okay.
All right, first bit of news comes to us from... Actually, I don't know what this says. This one's Troy's news. This is from DOT Sports.
Sport.
Sports.
Esports. It's esports, yeah.
So, sorry, .esports, yes. I thought maybe it was a Detroit Tigers thing.
It does look like that.
But it's not that. So Apex Legends player creates code of conduct to make public matches more enjoyable. So
legit? Like
code of conduct? What?
yes, so this is an Apex Legends player has taken matters into their own hands. Regarding player behavior, the fans shared a mock code of conduct for Battle Royale yesterday to help public matches be more enjoyable when playing with randoms. The player outlined 15 simple rules that are designed to make teams work together without being overbearing or distracting. Some of the rules will seem familiar to players who try their best to be good teammates, but a lot of players break them constantly and are often seen as a detriment to their squad.
Let's just leave this.
This isn't just Apex. This is also probably like just Battle Royales in general.
Yeah. I mean, this is specific to Apex, but I would imagine some of the rules can...
Make sure you ping things that you don't need, that players could need.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's on there.
So this is a post. This is the post on Reddit.
It's really small.
It is really small. Let's see if I can make this.
There you go.
There's
All
no...
right.
oh,
Holy fuck.
not that much.
Yeah, not that much big.
There's
Can you...
no, I want me to read it.
Yeah, read it, Colin.
There is no claiming legends on character selection. Sometimes you get first pick, sometimes you get last.
What does that mean, Troy?
So, like, if you hover over a guy, like in the character select screen, like you pick in an order, and if player 2 hovers over the character they want to try and like get player 1 not to pick that character,
Okay.
like that doesn't you'll get first pick, bro. Just calm down. Pick your second best player
Gotcha.
and deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it says, do not immediately leave a match because you did not get the legend you wanted. You are screwing over your team.
Yeah.
So you at least leave the match and they have to...
Fuck you, I wanted to be that guy.
Instead of 4, you run with 2 now.
Okay.
If you are not the jump master, do not spam ping drop locations. It's not your turn to choose. Do not solo drop because you do not like the location the jump master is going to. On the drop, break away from the jump master so you are not looting in the same exact location.
That makes
True.
That's a pretty good one.
When you die, don't immediately leave the match. Give your team a chance. When you die, don't spam ping your death box, especially if your teammates are still in combat. If your teammate is knocked down, make sure the area is safe before attempting to res. If you're knocked down, understand your teammate is making sure the area is safe before they res you. If your teammate is knocked down, revive them before looting death boxes. If your teammate is dead, do not loot their box unless it's for meds or the next respawn beacon is super far away and they leave no chance of reclaiming their gear. If your teammate is dead, respawning them should be the top priority. If you are dead and your team has your banner, do not spam ping the respawn beacon location. Do it once do it once in a while so they know where to go. Share meds, share ammo, ping valuable loot. Communicate with your team. If you are moving, ping where you're going. Identify enemies, acknowledge teammates' pings.
All right. That's a pretty decent set of rules.
That's a lot of it, like Warzone too.
Yeah,
Pinging and everything
definitely.
like that. You don't want to spam anything ever.
Right.
You just want to be a good team player.
I think the only one I might disagree with is 2. So do not immediately leave a match because you didn't get the legend you wanted. Fuck that.
No, I think it's like if you die, it's let's just give your team a chance because they can revive you.
No, this
2.
is saying
I know, but I'm saying that one's like, I don't know why you're upset about that. Like, not everybody, you're not always gonna get your favorite legend, dude.
So in terms of like Paladins also has character select and you play as a specific character. And I always play as Ashe. And if somebody else plays as Ashe, I cannot, on my team, you can't have 2 Ashes. You could have an Ashe on the opposite team unless you're playing competitive. And Paladins is pretty good about like forcing you into the match because once you start a lobby, you cannot back out.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to back out unless you shut your fucking console off. So in Apex Legends, you could shut the game off, I guess.
Yeah, shut the game off on console.
You could, but you have to reload the game and then get in again. So in Apex Legends, Troy, is there a similar system, or can you just bail out of a lobby whenever?
You can just bail out of the lobby. So like you don't get the person you want, and once you go to the character select screen, your team is already committed to being your team.
Okay.
And you only get 3.
Right.
Because it's trios in this game.
Yeah.
So if you all three are in there picking, you don't get first pick and you don't get your favorite pick.
Well, fuck
so
that.
you get to the end, you get to the part where you can quit and you just quit.
So why wouldn't it
and
let
then it's
you?
just 2.
So why wouldn't it let you just choose all 3 at the same time? Like, what does it matter? Why do you take turns?
When you take turns, then it does give the other players a chance to. So, like I said, if you're third pick, but you want to use this person, you hover over that person and be like, this is my main, basically, is what you're saying. So that they can think, well, if they're going to be them, then I could play as this person. Because, I mean, even then, you're still trying to assemble a team because there's assault, there's defense, and then there's like a med kit person.
Okay.
So even then, you're trying to assemble a good team.
Right.
You don't want 3 assaults.
For sure. Yeah, and that's the same way Paladin.
Yeah. So that's the same thing of, if you don't get your person, well, pick your second best and just go with it. Because you should have a main of each play style, most likely.
I guess.
At least I do.
My question would be for like Respawn.
Yeah.
Respawn Vancouver, as it were. Why let people do some of these things? Like, why let people leave the lobby? Because you can't back out in Paladins. That's just a thing that happens. You have to pick a character and you have to play that whole match. You can't even quit out of a match. Like, unless you shut your Xbox off, or shut the game off.
The problem is then it's so you die.
I mean, that's the shitty part.
You're a bad teammate. You're bad at the game, so you die. You don't respawn.
That's a good point.
And then you're pinging, trying to get your team to revive you. And they're like, fuck you, you died in the first 10 seconds because you didn't go where we wanted you to.
All right, well, that's a bad example of the thing that I was saying. But like, should this be on players? Obviously, some of this is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But should this kind of a thing be on players to come up with this, or should this have came from the top down? Like, and should some of these things go into effect as the way that the game is like functions?
Yeah.
Like, should Respawn include some of these things to be like? Yeah, I mean, some of them are gameplay related, so they're not. But
with Call of Duty, you can, like, if you're dead, you can only ping like every 20, 30 seconds. Like so you can't spam.
Exactly.
If you want to keep it on the screen, if you're playing with people that are new and don't know where buy boxes are, you want to ping every time it disappears. Otherwise, they'll forget.
Yeah. Right.
Well, oh, there's a guy in that direction, but I need to go over there.
Right.
So, he pinged again. Let me go that way.
Shiny. You just get distracted by Shiny.
You're playing with people like me.
Yes.
At that point.
Yes.
What was that? Oh, where?
Was that a guy? Was that a fucking guy? Somebody tell me. What do you think, Colin? Should Respawn take a little bit more of this into their own hands, or do you think this should be on players? Like, I'm assigning this code of conduct.
Maybe like in the game somewhere. Just be like, hey, some
like in the training
things to consider, or maybe like even when you're loading into a game, maybe it pops up on the screen.
That'd be a good.
Like
idea.
like little notes.
Yeah, like a tooltip.
Yeah, like a little tooltip.
Like,
exactly.
Rule 1.
Yeah, like like when you're loading in a game, like Skyrim has a little text on the bottom. Like have it be like that.
That is a super good idea. For sure. I like that a lot, Colin. So that way everybody will eventually know the rules. And you can, and you can, even if you don't cognitively think about that during the game, it will be in the back of your mind.
Yep.
And you will learn, I like it. That's a good idea. Let's tweet that at Respawn if people haven't already.
I bet some people have. I bet.
Anything more to say about this, gentlemen?
No.
I think they should have something like that on every game. Like
that's a good point.
Every Battle Royale game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So the whole like article here just breaks down the rules that we kind of just talked about. So let's move on to the next bit of news. The John Wick writer has some pretty cool projects in the works. So this comes to us from GameSpot. And Derek Kolstad is the guy who created the John Wick character and wrote the first 3 films. And he has his eyes set on multiple video game adaptations. So you will like one of these, Troy.
Oh, yeah.
So last year, Troy and I played and loved a game called My Friend Pedro.
Yo.
And the John Wick writer is working on an adaptation,
Working on pitches for shows.
a pitch for that to be a TV show. And I am super fucking excited.
It'd be awesome.
That'd be a good show.
So My Friend Pedro and Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Bendy and the Ink Machine. I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's. Kind of a spooky horror.
Oh, it has the same layout as.
Boy, there is zero information on GameSpot.
Yeah, it's not showing it.
Yeah, it's like from what I've seen of it, it's literally just
Android and iOS.
Mobile game. Okay.
It's a Five Nights at Freddy's, but.
Oh, and 6 more. I see it here.
Yeah, it's Mac,
Gotcha.
Nintendo, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, literally all of.
So
all
Five
of
Nights at Freddy's kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So survival horror type of. You're sitting there hitting buttons, going through cameras and whatnot.
Okay. So Kolstad says that he says that he named these 2 projects. Fucking Christ. Kolstad says that he named these 2 projects because I literally have Post-it notes on my computer. This is what I'm working on today. He's also attached to numerous other film projects, including 2 remakes with the directors of John Wick, and I don't know any of this other stuff. So I'm super excited about this and hope this comes to fruition. That would be super fucking cool. But it says he's been attached to a couple of other projects for a while. He has been working on the adaptation of Hitman for Hulu since 2017, and we haven't heard anything more about that according to the article. And in May, he was also announced as a screenwriter for a Just Cause film.
Oh, nice.
So there's a 4th John Wick coming to theaters and is releasing in May 2022.
I haven't seen the 3rd one yet.
I have not. I've not seen any of them.
Pretty
actually.
good.
I like all of them.
They're all good. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you just like insane action the whole way through, kind of like Crank.
Okay. Yeah, Crank is fucking good.
It's like Crank, but it's got the funniness of just like a John Wick movie.
So just reference the John Wick as the thing.
The whole reason he's killing all these people is because they stole his dog.
I am a little bit aware of that because of the internet.
Yeah. Oh, they stole my puppy dog. I'm gonna kill everybody till I get my puppy back.
I mean, I think My Friend Pedro is probably like a world that has been created that is ripe for other adaptations, like be it comic books or be it film. Like the slow motion stuff is like straight up Matrix shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm watching this gameplay.
This could be really, really fucking cool if you were to put this into a film.
They're way more smooth than I was on the Switch.
This isn't me playing here.
I was playing on the Switch. This was definitely not me.
Yeah.
What did they get?
Probably an S. That's fucking bullshit.
I've never gotten an S.
Oh, Christ almighty, they got an S. No, I have not. That was really smooth. Yeah, so that I love everything about My Friend Pedro. It is bonkers and crazy, and I think the story would work well in a show setting. Certainly, something episodic would be really, really cool. So let's move on to the next bit of news here. This comes to us, again, from GameSpot. And there is a fan project in the works to bring back the first-gen Xbox Live in 2020. What? So this is called the Insignia Fan Project. And so...
What does it want to bring back?
So I wondered this as well. Because I don't think I ever put my original Xbox online. I don't think I got online till the 360.
They have it, but they...
And
But it
yeah,
wasn't
they
easy.
had LAN, they had Xbox Live technically.
I just did LAN. I never did into the internet.
Correct. And I never did either. I never had anything fast enough to get onto the internet with the original Xbox. So this fan project being called Insignia is being developed by Luke Usher, and he's providing updates for it on his personal Patreon. I am going to message him and see if we can get him on the pod.
Okay.
But basically this article breaks down the fact that he is working on an emulator basically that will emulate, like, on the server side what Xbox Live did for the original Xbox. So he is going to release it for free, and it will not require any modifications or patches for owners of Xbox consoles. The goal is for the original Xbox Live project to have it up and running in autumn 2020, and it would be pretty nostalgic, blah, blah, blah. So there's a video cut here from YouTube, and I'll put this portions of this in the show notes. So welcome to Xbox Live. It has the original OG Xbox dashboard. You can choose your area. You make a gamer tag. Oh, boy, this is good. I like a lot of this. So I guess you'll be able to just have whatever gamer tag that you want.
Yeah.
But what would you do with this? Like,
Yeah, I am confused.
would you play old original Xbox games with it, or would it just be a thing where you go through and create a name and then that's it?
They made it sound like you could play legacy games like Halo and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon through it. So
and enjoy.
yeah, right here. So multiplayer through the old version of Xbox Live. Should you have these games on the original Xbox? So I'm guessing it will be like our podcast is already kind of a niche thing, right? So this will be a niche of a niche for people that still have original Xbox consoles. They still fucking work and have the capability to hook them up to the internet.
We have all those things.
Yes, we do have all of those things, Troy. Thanks to you, officially, we do have all of those things here in this house. We have an original Xbox and the internet.
And it works.
And it works. We probably have a copy of Ghost Recon somewhere.
I bet we do.
So there's a private beta plan for some time in the future, and he is looking for Patreon supporters to help him with this project monetarily, obviously. So I'll put links to those things in the show notes, and I'll probably do some sort of video pop up in the video version of this pod. But that looks cool. I don't exactly know what you're going to do with that. I don't know what the restrictions were when Xbox Live was in its infancy. So I don't know. Hopefully we can get him on to talk about this on the pod, because I am on board for legacy machines working it as the way they were intended to work. And that's why I enjoy the backwards compatible stuff so much. Like, I think you should be able to play your games when and where you want them.
Yeah.
And it's cool if this still works. Because I think, let's see, they shut the original Xbox servers off probably 4-ish years ago. Sometime before we started doing the pod, there was a couple of guys that were running Halo 2 on the original Xbox, and there was something about Microsoft not being able to shut the servers off while there was still devices connected. So what they did was just left their devices connected, like formed a private Halo 2 lobby and just had Halo 2
Constantly running.
Yeah. And so that Microsoft wouldn't shut down the old Xbox Live server for the original Xbox. And Yeah, I remember that coming out as news that like these guys were trying to prevent Xbox Live from being shut down. And I think Microsoft, well, they were good sports about it. Like it was in the days of Phil Spencer at that point. So I think they gave them like a year free of Xbox Live and like, just like, hey, thanks for being Xbox fans. We appreciate it.
Well, we got to shut these
Yeah,
things down.
eventually they did. I don't know if they got disconnected or something. It did get shut down.
That's funny.
Eventually. So it's cool to see this coming back though. Like since I was never able to experience this back when it was a thing, like I think that would be. I don't know that I'd necessarily input my credit card information.
Yeah, I wouldn't
like that guy just did in that
what the
video,
heck?
but. Yeah, it would still be cool to play Halo 2 or even the original Halo on the original Xbox through the original Xbox Live.
I have so many memories of just LAN parties.
For
Of Halo
sure.
2.
Yeah, I've played a fuck ton of that.
Halo 2, and it was Tim's grandma's house. I forget where his grandparents were,
Mhm.
but we had everybody over. We all had our own Xbox, and we all had a Halo 2 and a different TV and different Xbox throughout the rooms.
Yep.
Throughout the rooms, so nobody could screen cheat. And like we went and bought before it was even a thing that we knew what to do with it was the routers, like to connect a bunch together.
Right.
Like we had to go buy one of those because we were like, well, how do we make this many people connected at once?
And it wouldn't necessarily even have been a router. It was like a LAN bridge, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not a wireless router.
Not
like
a wireless
like a regular
router. It was like
wired router.
It was a wired router that didn't hook to the internet. It was specifically made to hook machines together.
People don't even you don't even hear the term router separated. When you think of a router, it just is a wireless router.
It's a Wi-Fi router.
So yeah, that's
unless you're from which I really enjoyed. I was on Grief Burrito's stream the other day, and he called it a router.
A router.
Ah, bless his heart.
Ruta.
I got a new router, and it's really nice. I don't know how to say it in his accent, but it was like,
well, I mean, it's just like how it is. Like follow the route, follow the route.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know, router, cool. Router, route, route.
He was
Boy, I did not think about that until you just said that, Colin.
Route and route.
It's a route, but it's a router. Strange. Okay. All right, next bit of news.
Follow the route. You don't say follow the route?
Yeah, I would say follow the route.
I would too. So it's a router.
I hate it so much.
Now you technically have to call it a router now. But yeah.
All right. Next bit of news comes to us from Kotaku. Dino Crisis fan brings game back into the 21st century with 4K 60 FPS support.
But it still looks like garbage.
It does.
It still looks like Capcom's garbage.
So Capcom's old Dino Crisis, which came out in 2000, isn't available commercially on the PC, and getting the original to boot in 2020 can be a nightmare. Enter this very modern makeover. PC Gamer reports that Dino Crisis Rebirth update takes the Japanese version of the game and does stuff like giving it DirectX 9 support, a new 3D rendering mode, improved audio, new resolutions up to 4K and ultra widescreen, and smooth frame rates at either 60 or 30 frames per second.
Wow.
You can download the files needed aside from the game itself and get the installation instructions here. So we've got some screenshots.
Dinosaur action.
The Velociraptor.
This is very Jurassic Park here.
Yeah.
Some type of facility with the
looks like
Velociraptor
garbage
in there. Yeah, that does not look great. Let's go to the Twitter account and see if we can see any more screenshots here. So it is available at patreon.com/classic rebirth for the
DualShock 4 LED for health and rumble support.
That's pretty okay.
So you see your health on the freaking LEDs of the DualShock?
I'm okay with that. So yeah, the player select screen here, we got it pulled up on Twitter. That looks
a little better.
Okay, I guess. I guess it would depend on how it plays.
Why is Nemesis in this?
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah, he does all of them. He does Resident Evil and Dino Crisis.
Okay, that's
he's
why
done
they
all
all
of them.
both lead to the same
Yeah.
thing.
They
I
were
just
all
want
made
some
on the same-
screenshots.
They were all made on the same.
It's just gonna look the same. You can't really tell unless you played it.
Okay.
You
Fine.
Like it'd be a smooth
Fine,
transition
fine.
in between things, but it still look like polygonal people.
I mean, the screenshots of Resident Evil are nice,
Yeah.
but also like, oh fuck, I forgot that 3D games looked this bad ever.
was
it's
that
like-
was that a list of all the cheats?
Probably.
Oh gosh.
I watched the trailer for Final Fantasy VII, the original version,
Yeah.
on, I think it's on Xbox One. I maybe watched it on Switch. That game looks like fucking dog shit. It's so bad. Like, no fucking wonder they're redoing it because it looks so fucking terrible. See, that doesn't look bad in motion.
No, it doesn't. It looks pretty smooth.
Yeah, it looks super
Oh,
smooth.
that looked pretty cringe.
That part
Okay.
where he died didn't look great. So yeah, I just thought this was cool because I like dinosaurs and they don't make dinosaur games anymore.
Nope.
They should,
And
but
it's kind of a
They gotta
bummer
make
that they don't.
something right soon.
I was clicking through Twitter and I did find a dinosaur game on Steam
Yeah.
that was in early access.
I want to.
They have like
I think
I
it was
wanna
called
play
The
that.
Island,
well,
if I remember
they
right.
have the game, that survival game, Ark, Survival Evolved. that has
Ark, right,
dinosaurs.
has
Yeah.
dinosaurs in it, but it's not necessarily about dinosaurs.
I really want to play that. And I know I'm bringing it up late, but I want to play that. The new shark game that just
Yeah, Maneater.
Maneater looks
Yep.
really good.
It does. It does look really good. I
And it
don't think
looks
it's
like-
too expensive either.
It's $30.
It's not
I
bad.
almost bought it over the weekend.
You should have probably bought it over the weekend.
But I didn't.
Valorant.
I was hoping that Ryan would buy it.
And then what?
Then I'd play.
Obviously, I'm going to buy Saints Row, Troy.
I know.
Fucking A. All right, next bit of news comes to us from CNET. This will probably be the last bit of news here. We're kind of running out of steam here, I think. Valorant launches for free on June 2nd.
Finally, I want to
So
play this game.
it's been in closed beta since April.
I wish it was on console because it looks really
And-
nice.
Yeah,
It might
I thought it
eventually
looked
come
really
to
cool.
console, probably.
So, of course, we've actually talked about this game a couple of times already. This is Riot Games' hero shooter Valorant, coming to PC on Tuesday, June 2nd. So that's actually like not too far away. About a week.
Next week.
About a week from now.
Yeah.
The beta period will end on the 28th, and then the game will officially launch on the 2nd.
Cool.
So if you've been playing the beta, your account will reset to ensure a level playing field.
Good.
So that is good.
So like,
That is
because
a good
I signed up for the beta too, and I was like, well, if
I didn't get
Well,
invited.
the way
yeah.
the way you do the beta is you have to sign up for it, and then you have to watch streams that have like on Twitch that have like this thing that like track your account and see if you're actually watching those videos.
Lame.
So yeah, and then eventually be like, hey, you've been watching these streams of our game, so we'll send you a code to get it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
had it, but like I kept every once in a while I'd click on Riot Games and be like, you don't have access to this game. Like, of course I don't. I don't watch it.
Of course I
But
don't.
like, I'm glad that
They're
they are
watching a
resetting
fucking
it though.
streams.
Because like, there's gonna be so many people that are already freaking uber good at this game, and it's gonna
Yeah.
piss me off.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's like
'Cause you're
Counter-
gonna be
it's just-
starting at
It's a lot
zero.
like
It's like
Counter Strike
Counter-Strike,
too.
yeah.
So there's a lot of Counter Strike people are gonna be switching over to this game, and they're gonna be doing really good.
It does look like a cross between like
Paladins and Counter Strike
and Counter-Strike, which is cool. Like I'm into that. All
And
right.
I'm interested. I'm tempted to see like wanting to know if this game will actually add more Pavlov levels, because Pavlov, a lot of people made their maps off of Counter Strike on Pavlov.
Okay.
I wonder if they're going to take a lot of Valorant's maps too and make versions of
That would be
'cause
super cool.
It would be. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
I was watching I was watching Tim the Tapman play this game.
yeah.
And it looks pretty cool the way the powers work.
Yep.
And like, so your power, one guy's power is a flashbang
Mhm.
that like he snaps and then you can control it going around a corner or wherever you want it to go.
Nice.
And then it flashes and then you can go in.
That's
And they're-
cool.
And just the way it like distributes out the powers seems pretty balanced.
Right.
And
Right.
if they can keep it that way,
Yeah.
and it still does the whole money thing of buying the gun that you want to use at the beginning of the round.
Right. Right.
And that's pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah. I think they'll like that's a Counter-Strike
Yeah.
thing, right? Where you
Yeah.
buy the gun at the beat.
Yep. Pavlov, same thing. You know, buy the
Right.
guns pre-round. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the influences there, you can definitely see like the influences of Paladins or Overwatch and Counter-Strike for sure. And I was, because in Paladins, you buy things during the match to like help you power up.
Yeah.
Whether it be like shield damage or extra shield for your own character or cooldown resets, or not resets, but like cooldown percentages where you can activate your abilities 10% faster or whatever the fuck. So if you have to, in this game, maybe like, do you have to choose? Like, are there those types of power-ups, or is it mostly like gun-based, Troy? Because I know
For
in
purchasing?
Pavlov, they're all gun-based.
Purchasing is all guns,
Okay.
and grenades, and all that stuff.
Right.
But then every character has their own power ups too that you get to use
Yeah.
throughout the
Yeah.
match.
But
So,
I
like,
wonder if you get
you
like
the hero
things
shooter
to
thing.
power up those power-ups is
No,
what I'm saying.
I don't
Okay.
think so. I think those are set on a level playing field, and then you get to buy your guns as you earn money.
And those are the modifications that you can make throughout
Yes.
the match. Okay.
And like, okay, so you earn more money, so now you get a scope on your gun
Right.
type of deal.
Yeah. Or maybe like slightly faster reload, like that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, it would be like you buy a clip with a fast reload clip or
Right,
whatever. Yeah.
right, exactly,
Something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
you buy upgrades for your gun.
Yeah, I think this is cool. Unfortunately, I'm garbage at PC games.
Yeah.
You'll get better.
I'm gonna probably have to get better.
He's gonna get a better
I actually
PC.
like thought I got pretty okay at Paladins for a little while. Like I was getting it down when Rachel and I were playing on PC, and then I just eventually went back to console because
I would have just grabbed my controller on the PC and just
Yeah,
went like that.
I've tried doing that
Yeah.
with Call of Duty, but it's so goofy. It's so stupid.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun. I like my mouse now. I got too used to it.
I wish I could get used to a mouse.
Plus, like, but the thing is, like, the one thing I ran into when it comes to playing on mouse though is when you throw a grenade, you have to press G, so you can't move to the right and press G at the same time unless you use your thumb. You have to take your thumb off of the space bar or whatever. But it turns out the middle mouse button also works to throw a grenade. But I actually did a program on my buttons to be a grenade or throwing knife, so now I can do a lot more movements while throwing knives, for example.
Right.
So it's a lot nicer.
Yeah, that's when it helps to have a gaming mouse, certainly, with
Side
more
buttons.
buttons. Yeah,
Yep, I just use one side button right now, but I might program some more. Yep.
right. Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot else to say.
About Valorant, we don't really know. I haven't really watched a lot of gameplay of it yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
I've
a
watched a
little
couple
bit.
of the trailers, and then I haven't watched like anybody that I know stream. I
Yeah.
just watched a little bit of the streams that they were putting out, but I didn't even know about that Twitch thing. Like, I just assumed they were going to send me a beta code if they wanted me to have one. I didn't know it was like, earn this motherfucking beta code.
Yeah, you have to download Riot Launcher or whatever. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't get any news for this week, so I guess we'll just ride out to the same song we did last week.
I like that song.
Yeah, that song's okay.
It was okay.
It was free. So we are going to get out of here. Thank you everybody so much for listening. This has been Crazy Train of Thought episode, whatever the fuck we're on. I've been your host, Ryan Wolf. Thank you, Troy, for being here. Thank you, Colin, for being on today's episode. You can check us out on Twitter at the Idiot Savants. You can find us on Instagram at the Idiot Savants. Our Linktree links is in the show notes if you want to check that out. So I guess that's it.
Scooting.
See ya.
Bye.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
Uno, dos, tres. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3. On. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. That was good.
Is that good?
I
Is
think-
that better?
Wait, one more time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I think that was good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, they look pretty lined up. And
lined up and no.
Okay, Colin. Why don't you go ahead and start us off? I should put that music on here just so you know, like this.
Yeah.
This summer, blah blah blah. Do you want me to play that music? Because I have it. I can pull it real quick.
It's fine.
It's up to you.
Can we just go already?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Ready? Hold on.
Troy wants to go.
This week. Okay.